So what's the last year been like for you? What's been like the biggest highs and the biggest lows?
In the past year,
Yeah.
I say, I mean, just the I guess adjustment of how things been going. You know what I mean? You shift going from one thing to literally spark to another. You know what I mean? And it's just like just the adjustment and adapting to just the pandemic, just life and the world. You know what I mean? So I would say that's like the low, but then it's a high too at the same time because it's kind of like building you a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of like preparing you, prepping you. It's toughening you up a little bit. And I'm the type of person like I adapt. Like I adapt to my environment. So like anytime I'm in like a critical situation, like I think on my feet fast. So I wouldn't always call like this past year from like the pandemic and stuff like a bad thing. It was in a sense you had to get some type of positive out of it. So I would just say that just the adaptation and you know what I mean, just adjusting.
And what did it do for you creatively?
Just music, of course. You know what I mean. Like when you're an artist, you know what I mean, and you stuck in a position where you have nothing but your mental and your creativeness. You tap into what you do best, and that's music. One of the things I do best is music. You know what I mean, I think all day, so like that's kind of what I tapped in. I dropped the project Red Flu during the pandemic. You know what I mean, something to feed my supporters. Everybody listening to music the whole time. You know what I mean, that's really what everything was streaming and stuff like that. So I just used that to my advantage.
Yeah, I could hear it in Red Flu. I love that Drip Set record. Anybody
Yeah,
who wears like XL jerseys in 2021, like I'm gonna be a
yeah,
fan
yeah,
of that record. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
We was bringing the Dipset vibe.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was a really cool project, and I think I'll get into that later.
Uh-huh.
When you were coming up, what do you think you did differently at the time to set you apart from the rest of the city?
I think it was just like more so like my delivery, my swag, and my appearance. You know what I mean? Like I'm just somebody that nobody looks like. You know what I mean? Like I was that girl that nobody knew was a girl at one point. Sometimes, you know what I mean? They thought I was a boy. Um, but come to find out, I'm actually a woman that's talking about other women. Um, I had the two braids, I had the gold grills. Like I just was different. You know what I mean? I was myself, and I just think me and being myself and what I was comfortable in is what stood me out from everybody.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what really made me tap into you early on. I was like, oh my God, she can rap her ass off. Because like New
Hmm.
York wasn't exactly in that space where lyricism was at the forefront back when you were
Right,
popping off in like, 2014, 2013. Like
right,
dancing records were kind of more the thing, if that makes sense.
right,
Or like taking stuff from other cities. But like
right.
you were just rapping your ass off. Like
Hmm.
I remember when the Chirac remix came out, I was
Yeah,
like that was crazy to me. I listened to it like a million times.
yeah, and that's when Chicago had it. Chicago was on fire. The drill vibes from Chicago was going on, and of course, I'm from my city, so I'm not gonna sound like a Chicago dude. I'm gonna put that Brooklyn sound on a Chicago beat or whatever I gotta do. And that was actually Nicki Minaj, so like that's it's still New York.
Yeah, exactly. But I actually get into that. I feel like one of the more unique aspects about your come up is that you're not limited to your sound in New York. Like, for example, today you dropped the beatbox remix with that's a Florida beat, and at the beginning of your career, you gained notoriety for that Chirac freestyle that we were talking about. Why do you think you're not limited by your region, sound wise?
Well, one thing about freestyles when it comes to that, like I always like try to tap into like the rhythm and the vibe of the actual song. So anytime I do a freestyle and stuff like that, of course I'm always me on it, but I'm not gonna always sound the same. You know what I mean? I'm gonna switch up the flow a little bit, but I'm gonna still sound like me. I can never not sound like me because I'm literally me on every song. You know what I mean? So like my flow ain't gonna always be that same flow. It's not. It's just not gonna be like the same. Like I have certain beats that I feel like I can rap this way, and I have certain beats where I feel like I should rap this way. But I'm still gonna sound like Young and Mick. You know what I mean? And I just like I said, I learned to adapt, man. Like when it come to music, like I've studied it for so long since I was a kid. So like I just know to just cross into that lane of like, I'm gonna put myself in this world. You know what I mean? I'm gonna lock in right here, and I'm gonna still be me at the same time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's some things just be hard to explain. It's just being just. an artist and being creative and being passionate about what you do, and you just stand out sometimes.
No, I get it. It's just so different because I feel like for most New York rappers, they kind of stick to the New York sound, which isn't bad. But like
Mm-hmm.
you're able to like branch out and still sound so Brooklyn. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like you don't see that a lot, especially in New York, because New York has
exactly.
such an overpowering, presence to it. You're still
Right.
able to switch
I
tones.
feel like I feel like New York probably more in that space now. I feel like I grew up in the era of where things was a little different. Like 50 Cent, for example, he was one of those artists that, you know what I mean, he was able to switch it up. You know what I mean? Go this way, go this way. Jay-Z, same thing. You know what I mean? These are artists I grew up on. So like I've seen and witnessed and studied the way they maneuvered in music. You know what I mean? It wasn't always like a song cry for Jay-Z, or it wasn't always you know what I mean, like a Marcy type John. Like he went big pimping. You know what I mean? He went change clothes. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jay-Z, but he still sound like Jay-Z, but the vibe was always different. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
The vibe, and I say that all the time, is like you can still sound like yourself, but you can switch the vibe. You can switch like just your delivery on a song, but it's gonna always sound like Young and May, or it's gonna always sound like 50, or it's gonna sound like Jay-Z. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I never thought about it like that. And you just
Yeah,
named all of my favorite Hove songs, by the way. Song Cry is like my favorite Jay-Z song ever.
yeah. You can tap into those lanes, just like when I did uh damn, what's the name of it? Forgetting my own damn song, Stubborn Ass. You know what I mean? Like that's like more of a poetic side of me, where I get more deep into relationships and the realistic of relationships, but I still sound like Young Mick. Then I can go into a big drip, you know what I mean, or ooh, or a petty wop. You know what I mean? It's just that's just the type of shit I studied growing up.
No, and I just never put the two and two together because like
Mm-hmm.
50 had West Coast production, from
Mm-hmm.
Dre and stuff like that. He wasn't always all New York, and
New
Change
York vibe.
Clothes is a Pharrell beat. I'm pretty sure it's a Neptune's beat,
Yeah, that tune. Mm-hmm.
and I never put that together. How New York incorporates other coasts.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of how the New York sound has developed in the last few years?
I think New York kind of been. I think New York was for the past few years been kind of like pulling pulling each direction, trying to pull something together to make the city, I guess, the city again. You know what I mean, in this sense. And I feel like when Bobby, shout out to Bobby and Rowdy, welcome home. I feel like when they came out, it felt like New York again. Just the swag of New York. You know what I mean? Like we cocky, we wild. You know what I mean? We spit too. You know what I mean? We get thorough, we get aggressive. And I felt like when Bobby came out with that, it was just like a spark, like reminding New York, like this is what we do. Like stop playing with us. You know what I mean? And I feel like from then nobody can take that away from them. That level, it came back around slowly but surely. You know what I mean? And now we got the drill sound. You know what I mean? With the Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke came, took over. His unfortunate, rest in peace. You know what I mean? That his life was cut short, but that came in and like it kind of reminded New York on like New York, like remember we started this. Like this us. We ain't gotta copy nobody. You know what I mean? We don't gotta copy no other sound. Like so, and that's just where my mind was at more. Like it was just like we lyrical. Like this is what we do. We got fun songs. We had fun records and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we still known for that aggression and that thoroughness about us and that swag. And
Yeah,
I felt like it's coming back into place now.
yeah, it feels like it comes back in waves. I don't know if you see it like this, but like it feels like every couple of years, New York figures out how to reinvent the things that make New York hip hop to its core and bring it to
Yeah.
modern sounds. And that's what I felt
Yeah.
like when I heard of you,
It's because New York had it for so long. You know what I mean? Like we
birthplace.
had the game forever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like other regions, other parts of the country is hungry. They want to be heard. And once they locked in, you know what I mean? They took over and made sure of it. And I respect that. Like down like Atlanta, you know what I mean? And Chicago or Houston or even Cali, you know what I mean? Everybody got their own sounds. I feel like Atlanta, of course, Atlanta got it going still. But New York gonna always be in there. We gonna always be in that top, no matter what. Even if we chill for a little bit, we can never fall off, never lose. But we can chill for a minute and we come back major. And I feel like that's just what it is. I just feel like the talk about it takes away like that. It's like, yo, come on, my nigga. Like this New York, we're gonna always be Gucci, no matter what. We're gonna always be good. I
No,
don't know what.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what I
I
mean.
like
Yeah,
like it just felt like things were going down, and then like I don't know, like I feel like the new drill wave is like the second coming of this generation. Like first it was you, it was Bobby, it was all these other people from New
yeah,
York,
yeah,
a Boogie, Cardi B, like you know what I'm saying, like a whole different wave in New York, and now we're kind of seeing it reinvent itself
yeah.
again, which is really nice. And
Mhm.
as this transition is happening, do you see yourself kind of going with the evolution of New York, like with drill and such, or do you think you're going to stick more to your original sound going forward?
I mean, I've been doing a couple drill joints
Yeah, off
because
the hack, you
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
YouTube?
I tapped into that lane because I just feel like it's necessary. Like if I'm gonna get on the drill beat, I'm not gonna sound like every other drill artist. I'm gonna sound like Young and May on it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's almost like a refreshing of the drill. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we a lot of them, you know, a lot of people got their own. So like shout out to Chef G and I think Sleepy Hollow. They got their own little delivery. 5EO, shout out to 5EO, the homie, got his own delivery. Pop Smoke had his own delivery. A lot of people, what they don't see on the outside is that they hear the drill beat and assume that everything sounds the same, but not realizing the way these artists is spitting and delivery wise. If you think about Atlanta, a lot of Atlanta beats is the same. You know what I mean? 808s, claps, you know what I mean, and all that. It's just different artists with different deliveries. You know what I mean? And that's just that.
I was saying that I feel like you're right. Like there's this weird generalization with drill that everybody sounds the same, but I'd love for you someone to pull up two Brooklyn drill artists that sound the same. Like everybody has
Right?
their own flow. Like
Nope, nobody sounds the same to me. So when people say that, it's only because they're not listening to the artist. They're listening to the beat and assume like, all right, it's that same little boom bap, boom, that drill shit. But like a lot of the beats in the past from like, you know, West Coast beats all sound the same. West Coast type beats, but just different artists with different delivery. So I don't know why people do it, but I'm one of the type of people that's gonna call it out and say, yo, listen, that's not even true. You can't say this man sound like this man, or you know what I mean? Like it's just not it. The
yeah,
same type vibes, but this is what New York is delivering right now. So I definitely had to get on that vibe because it's just something I'm into. I love the drill wave. Um, and I've been in the game for a little while now. So of course I gotta, you know what I mean, tap in. Like even Drake is doing drill beats and stuff like that. Like it ain't nothing that's not popular or something that want to be on. It's something we want to be on. It's
yeah.
dope.
And as a fan, please keep rapping on drill beats. Please keep
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
It
That,
sounds
that,
it
yeah.
sounds so good. Like it sounds. I'm taking my interviewer hat off for a second. It sounds so good. Like
Thank
please
you.
keep doing it.
Thank you.
So what steps do you think hip hop has to take to make it a more equitable and safe place for women in the LGBTQ plus community?
Uh, when I'm asked this question, I always say one thing about the label thing. You know, that's something I don't really speak upon too much because I don't believe in the label, and that's one of the reasons why I think I got kind of far in this game is because I didn't put focus on that. I wanted people to just focus on me as an artist. You know what I mean? I don't look at things as LGBT. I feel like we all one. We all equal. You talented, you dope. You know what I mean? You creative. We all in one bubble. We all in one world. You just a separate human being with your own life. Yeah, but like, as far as like music wise, I feel like it just should be one big. It's just one acceptance. What you accept is what you accept. What you don't is what you don't. And I came into the game. If you ain't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me. If you do, you do. And that's just what it was with me. I didn't look at it like I had to come in with some type of label power to be accepted. I wasn't looking for acceptance. I just wanted to come in and do what I had to do for me and what I always loved as a kid and as an artist and growing up into this industry and learning things and just being me. And that's just what it was. I feel like more people should just do that. Be yourself. Like fuck all the what people gotta say and all that. Like eventually people, if you really dope, people gonna fuck with you. And that's what I separated. And that's why I got a lot of people that's in my corner. Or I got a lot of fans and people that just rock with me, even if they don't accept that culture. It's just like I respect MA for just doing her. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like things forced on them. Like I wouldn't want nothing forced on me. You know what I mean? Like I love women. I wouldn't want no man forced on me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not to say like that, but it's just like that's how I view things. I don't know how everybody else view things. That's just always how I view things. That's just been me all my life.
All right, that makes sense. Um, How do you feel about like award shows and mainstream attention at this point in your career versus like when you first started?
Oh, it's different now. War shows, I don't know. When I grew up, it really seemed like it meant something. Now I don't know what it is. That's just all I can say. I don't know what it is now. I don't even like it's so social media is so strong and powerful now. People so accessible to you now. Like you can use that as your power. I don't really like I said in just this recent freestyles that I just said, fuck a Grammy, I got the streets watch.
That's why
You
I
know?
asked, because I heard the freestyle and I was like, I wonder
Yeah,
what she thinks, like what she thought before versus what she thinks now about it.
yeah. I don't you know what I mean? Like it's a trophy, you know what I mean? But I got plaques, you know what I mean? Platinum plaques from my real fan base that's really out there supporting me. You know what I mean? I believe that's my Grammy. I don't believe nobody's, I guess, opinion or decision or I don't know. I feel like certain people that they should have gave a Grammy didn't get a Grammy. So I kind of don't look at it fairly. I really don't care for it, honestly. I just feel like it is what it is, and I'm past that. Like I'm in my own zone, man.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you think your like relationship with your core fans is more intimate because you started dropping music on YouTube and SoundCloud versus Spotify? I feel like that creates a more like one-to-one connection with your fans, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I've always been that artist. I've always been that artist where I tapped in with my supporters to release music. You know what I mean? Like I always wanted their opinions. I always wanted to know what they thought about things. Cause I was always gonna do me, but I always wanted to kind of bring them in and engage with them and make them feel like, you know, we feel like it's family. You know what I mean? And that's how you lock them in. That's how you lock in loyalty with people because they always feel like they're a part of your movement and your, you know, your brand and your progression and your foundation. Like they are my foundation. They're the reason why I'm at where I'm at and where I'm continuing to be where I'm at. I don't look at all the outside things. Like to me, it's just all like fame and glamour. I'm more tapped into the people.
Yeah, I feel like that's what happens when you like build your fan base organically. Like you were, as I remember, like as a fan, I like would tap in. I remember when you dropped that Six God freestyle on SoundCloud. Like I've been,
Yeah,
bro.
throwback. Yeah, throwback.
Yeah, man. Like it was so frustrating because I hate streaming service. I remember like looking for your stuff and I was like, why is there nothing on streaming? I had to like download the SoundCloud app to like find your
Yeah,
stuff.
I had to get the streets, man. You gotta build the streets first, man, before you jump that lane. And when once Ooh came out, I took off and I was able to grab that. You know what I mean? Ooh was just more like a platform to kind of like get me out there, out of that, I guess that square of that street grind and kind of reel in the people on the outside that's really bandwagon fans. But you eventually lock them in because now they fall in love with you because they getting to know you now. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's how I look at things. Like I don't care to constantly like be on like people. This is one thing I wanted to say because a lot of people feel like I don't know, like people don't understand like when you're an independent artist and you don't have a label, like it's not the what you think is gonna be. Like it's not that. It's like literally you're working amongst yourself, like your team and your brand and how you're doing things. You're not caring for like charting on the billboards or this, that, and the third. Like behind closed scenes, like behind closed doors, like I got platinum plaques, man. Like I'm selling records. I'm still streaming crazy. I get all my royalties. I own my stuff. You know what I mean? So like it's two different worlds in this business. And the people on the outside looking in, they look at it like the artists like me, and I'm quite sure there's more of me out there that's, people don't get to see. We feel like they so underrated or they don't get the recognition. Now understanding that, yes, we do get recognition. We do. We just ain't getting recognition from y'all that's on the outside looking in. But every interview I do, everybody I speak to, they see I do numbers. They talk to me. They tell me like, yo, you dope as out. I hear this all the time. So it's just like certain things when people say, yo, you're not dropping. I'm like, yes, I'm dropping. I'm dropping. You might not have seen it because you one of those people. Like you one of those people. When them people speak, I'm like, okay, you in that category. And I got these people over here in this category that know exactly what's going on. But this one is outweighing this one. You know what I mean? And that matters to me. And that's what I'll be trying to, I don't really explain it, but it's just like more so like just y'all go ahead, just talk.
Because you drop like a mixtape rapper from like the
Yeah.
2010s. Like you drop all the time. You
I
drop it
drop
like
all the time. I drop all the time, and then if I take a break, it's because I'm working on something. Like people do that. Like people just don't know. Artists do that. Some artists do that. Not all artists is out here trying to just constantly be in your face. Sometimes I have a fan base that I know when I drop, they gonna go crazy for it.
Yeah. No, I think people are just spoiled in my personal opinion. I think that
It's
like
so much music. That's what it is. It's too much music out. It's too much accessibility. Like too many. It's like too much. So people just expect to constantly hear shit constantly. And then you gotta be that artist that's like separate from what they doing. You gotta fall back and then you come back and you re-evaluate and re-up on all of them. Like just go crazy after that. And
yes,
that's what right now.
especially in quarantine, like everybody's like it's like made people like 100 times more selfish. Like you drop an album, your comments are still gonna be, yo, when are you dropping again?
Right now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
y'all are just so bored. Like, go outside.
Outside, right.
um, yeah. So I just saw your successful video, which was awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, what do you define as success in this point in your career?
Um, I don't know. Success to me, I think, is just never giving up and never going backwards. I feel like just constantly just moving forward, even if it's at your own speed, your own pace, your own, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I said. Like, people look at success to be like maybe a Grammy or something, but like a lot of things nowadays is not what you think it is. So it's like, is that really success? You know, a lot of things is getting milked and I don't know, it's a little funny in this business, you know what I mean? And I appreciate the success that's naturally going for me, like people naturally streaming my natural streams, natural plaques on the wall
No
and stuff
budget.
that, you know what I mean? Like that's really happening for me, you know what I mean? Like I got over 3 million subscribers on YouTube, you know what I mean? My videos still do numbers, you know what I mean? Like I look at success like just constant progression. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking out for nobody to hand me a trophy. My trophies is coming because it's really my trophies. Like it's really what's happening. And that's how I look at success, like when it comes to music, you know what I mean? And just also just tapping into other things, getting involved in other investments, business and stuff like that. And just, just staying, I'm an adult, man. I'm grown, man. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like looking for a trophy and shit, that's like kid shit, bro. I just feel like I'm just feeding my family. I'm taking care of my family. My fan base love me. I got a good team. And I just feel like I made it from nowhere. I feel like that's my success. It's like never being in that position no more.
Yeah.
You
Cause
know
you're,
what I mean?
oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Uh,
good.
no, I feel like you're like a rare position because like I seen you glow up. Like you're
Yeah.
not just someone who like popped up and I was like, oh my god, did I miss them coming up? Like you know what I'm saying? Like I remember the videos of you in Brooklyn freestyling, so I've
Yeah.
seen from like day one to now.
Yeah, and I don't even really call. I wouldn't even kind of say that's success because I still will go to my city and still be outside and still be around people who I once was around at one point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just look at it more so like I just been around the world. I was able to travel to places I never thought I would experience. You know what I mean? Like places and like countries that probably wouldn't even accept me and my sexuality and stuff like that, where I've actually done shows and had people screaming and crying and singing my songs and like booking me and like, you know what I mean? Like that's success to me. My shoes is different. My shoes is a different shoe. You know what I mean? Like I'm not accepted everywhere. So like my success is that. My success is to be able to be accepted and change people's minds in a way where people are just people.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Um, so you keep up, and we talked about this, that you keep up and evolve with the New York scene, but at the same time, you're an old school lyricist. You know what I mean? Like you're
Right.
like a back in the day lyricist. What do you think you take from both worlds for your sound?
That's exactly what it is. It's adjusting to the new sound and bringing what I've learned since I was 9 years old into the new sound. So it's like the best of both worlds collabing. And I don't know, it's just in my mind. It's just something that I've stored and it just naturally comes out because I am creative, because it's just something I've been doing for so long, because it's something I've been studying. Um, I really don't have like no blueprint of it, but it's just more so like it's just naturally in my spirit, my energy. And when I hear music, I just know like, I'm tapped into what's going on now, but I also have an old soul. So I bring, I bring the bridge, bridging the gap.
Yeah, which is
And
really nice.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's what we do. That's what you get those fans, you get the older guys, older women, and then you get the young people that's rocking with you. And that's how you do it.
Yeah. And in terms of lyricism, do you think you're more competitive with other MCs or yourself?
Uh
You get what I'm asking there? Sorry if that's like a little confusing.
yeah, I mean I get what you're saying, like more so like competition wise,
Like in your head, when you're writing lyrics, are you like, oh, I'm competing with what I've written before, or are you competing with the batch of rappers that are current?
both. This is a competitive game. I feel like anybody that's an artist for real knows that. Like you can't not be in this game with a bunch of like artists and musicians and people in this industry to not think that you have to step it up because maybe you heard this and like, oh nah, I got finesse on this part, or you heard something you had before and you want to up your game. Like yeah, that's all just part of being an artist. That's automatic. Ain't even no way to explain that. Everybody should be thinking like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of what make you go crazy. You know what I mean? Like make you go up, make you turn up. Basically, like, and then to me, like with music too, it's all about feelings too. Like when I have my songs, when maybe I'm going through something, and that's when I'm like in a different zone. Like when you creating music, man, you be in so many different worlds. Is weird, but it's being an artist, it's creative. Is you that one.
And if you were to go bar for bar for anyone with anyone dead or alive, because I know your answer alive is Jay, but if it's dead or alive, who would it be?
Uh, bar for bar with. I mean, I think the most legendary shit would be with Jay-Z from, you know what I mean? Like if Jay-Z was still like on that time and me and him going back and forth on the track, oh, I'm with him.
You think?
We, yeah, absolutely. I'm rocking. We back and forth. I'm coming, you coming, pause, and we rocking out. And I'm be on that level of spitting.
I would love to hear that. That would be like music to my ears.
Brooklyn, that's Brooklyn energy, man. That's Brooklyn vibes, man. Nobody can never deny that.
And
He'll probably have a different bracket of talking. His bracket, his bracket, his bracket, of course. Like I can't speak on shit that he gonna speak on because that's billionaire status. I'm just gonna speak on my millionaire status of things and what I got going on, but I'm still gonna be toe to toe for you in my world, and then you gonna do what you do in your world, and that's just on that. And however anybody want to take it and relate to it, that's how they take it and relate to it. You get inspired by Jay because he's in that top bracket, so you're like, damn, that nigga talking billionaire talk. Then you get inspired by me because I'm independent. You know what I mean? I'm young, shorty, sexuality, all that, and I'm still, I made it from nothing too. You know what I mean? And I'm in that bracket. And there's people who eventually is in that bracket that can relate to what I, you know what I mean? What
yeah,
I've been through.
yeah, I feel like bars don't have a currency though. I think I'd
Yeah.
love to, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't want to hear Jeff Bezos rap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care, bars are bars. I'd love to hear that though.
Right. It's
Um,
the energy.
what do you think the effect of your career has been on hip hop?
Um, I think my effect is more so just being so confident. A lot of people tell me that. Like I know I'm confident because I'm confident. You know what I mean? I don't want to say like I'm confident, but people tell me that. So it's like, I know I'm confident because I feel confident. So when people tell me that, it's like, I know that's true because that's how I feel when I make music. And I just feel like that impact of me just literally being me all the time, like all the time, like even down to my videos where I don't even always need big budget videos. I could just shoot on some calm shit. I don't need no big houses. I don't need a bunch of foreign cars. I don't need a bunch of women. I could just shoot a video and it'll still go. You know what I mean? It's just me being myself at the moment. I just feel like people just feel like they can just engage with me more like that. And I feel like that's like my impact more. Like I'm kind of like the eyeball a little bit of the people that want to be the eyeball, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But I'm still on niggas' necks. I'm
No,
still.
see, you're the only music video I ever been to, and what you're describing is exactly that. Like you were just one of the people. Like, like I was shaking and shit, but you like made it so easy to talk to you because you're just like a very down to earth person.
Yeah, I be chilling, man. I just put up a post too with Bob Marley. I think it was yesterday. And he was speaking, he was talking, he had an interview, and the guy asked him about fame, and he was like, he said, he said, the guy asked him, how do you handle fame? He said, like fame, he's like, I handle fame by not being famous mentally, meaning like he don't let the shit get to his head. So like, of course, we know we famous. We know people look at us on the outside as famous people. But like, when you mentally feel like you're famous, sometimes that can fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like, it could really like have you in a different world of a mental where you kind of like lose yourself. And that's what Bob Marley was basically saying. Like, I don't want nobody to, I don't want my head to be big. I want to still feel like I'm that same person I've always been from the beginning. And whatever y'all take from it, that's what y'all take from it out there. But here, in this bubble, I just still feel like that musician that always just wanted to make music and do it because I just want to do it how I want to do it, not because somebody else is controlling me.
No, and I feel like that's why I'm still so tapped in with what you do. If that makes sense. Like I still look for like you rapping on other people's beats because I just feel like you never sold out.
Yeah.
Like just me, not as a journalist, as like a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like you just always are yourself.
Yeah, nobody. I don't just don't let nobody control me. You know that's basically what it is when people sell out. It's more so somebody controlling you. You
It's
know what I
like,
mean?
like their fault. At some point, it's like you know you probably signed a bad deal, and now you're
Right.
caught
You
in a
have
shitty
no
deal.
choice. Yep. And that's why only reason I even jumped back on the freestyle tip, because I even told my team, I told them, like, a lot of people done told me, like, yo, bro, you know what I mean? Like, you do a freestyle or whatever. And it's crazy how the universe works. Like, we remember, like, the freestyle game was like 2014, 2015, like 2016. Like, that was when people was doing freestyles to other people's beats. That era stopped. And I stopped because I'm like, all right, first of all, I don't profit from this besides maybe a show or two. You know what I mean? Maybe shows, but like streaming wise, no, you don't make money off.
Yeah, you
You
can't
know
do it because of life.
exactly stopped it. But you know now, I'm the type of person. I studied the game. I'm seeing people doing it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. This is what I do. So now I'm gonna do it. Why wouldn't I do it? Plus, I got a project coming up. Oh yeah, I'm on your asses, and it didn't leave. Like I'm still that. Like I'm still that young and made. Don't ever get it misconstrued. I can come back on that timing, and that's exactly what I did. So that's what it is.
Now I felt that all off the yak, and you said at the beginning they were like,
Mhm.
"Oh, they asked me for this on this
Yeah, I
joint."
see it all the time. And that's what I want the mob to know. Like, I pay attention to what people say, but y'all gotta understand, like, you still gotta have like those records where, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of gotta step off a little bit. Can't always be that one. And I be just wanting to prove to people like I could make these records too. And I understand what people love me for, and that's cool. But I'm still gonna step out a little bit. But don't ever get it misconstrued like I can't tap back in on that lane. You know what I mean? So with this project too, um, this project I got dropped, it's more mixtape vibes, and it's definitely more like aggressive, young and made. But I did tap in to like you said, like we was just talking about, like where I can kind of like the flow could kind of like switch, like where I tap into a different sound, different vibe. Still sound like young and made, but we do got those joints where it's like it's not just one set tone of things. Like I'm here, I'm there, I'm there. Like, this project is cool as fuck, man. Like this one of them joints I had fun with. I ain't even gonna hold you. I had fun with this one. This one gonna be a different vibe.
Yeah, I'm excited. Aggressive Young M.A. is my favorite Young M.A. Like No Mercy, that's probably like one of my favorite songs of yours.
Yeah, I tap into that, boy. Like I get into that, man.
Put it
That's
in a
me.
watch. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all, I love that record, man.
And we come as always.
Are there any features? You don't have to like. I know you probably can't say it, but like, are you trying to
Yeah,
get into that lane or?
no, I got on this project. This time I actually do have two features on here from the industry, and I never do too much features because I'm not going to do too much features off the first get go, because of course my first album, Her Story in the Making, I had no features. I just had like artists I had signed to me on my project, of course, just to give them that, some love or whatever the case, but no features. Red Flu, no features.
No features.
You know what I mean? Like everybody know me for not having features. This is already in the books already. But like with this project, I did actually put two industry artists on here because, you know, of course, like, it's like, you know, at this point, like, I'm setting the stage now. It's like I did the no feature shit. I don't need nobody to be on my records for me to pop.
Cool. I'm
So
excited. I'm excited to see who it is.
now we go to the next level of things. Like, I did that part. And we go to the next level of things. Y'all want to see features? Y'all want features? Say less. Cool, let's go.
I do. I would like. I just want to see what it's like. You know what I'm saying? Just because I never.
Yeah, I know everybody want to see it, and that's exactly why I did it at the right time. And you don't give them everything at once, man. I'm giving y'all a free game right now. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, with this game, bro, I'm like, I got it figured out. I had it figured out for mad long now. Already. I already know what I'm doing. I've been to what I was doing. So when I see people talk and speak, it's funny how the same people that really be wanting to know my game plan behind closed doors. No cap.
Because you're probably one of the more successful independent rappers of our time. Like, no, but and the thing is, you've stayed independent. That's the difference between you and a lot of other people. Is that, like, you know, a lot of people are independent, yada yada, to a certain point. Then they're gonna sign a publishing, or they're gonna sign some sort of deal, and you haven't at all.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And what do you think that's done for your career? Like, just being fully independent, like probably one of the only like big independent rappers of our time.
Yep, not signed to a label. I mean, like, you know, like, I don't know. People be looking at it like, how do you do it? And I just be looking at it like, how do you do it? You know what I mean? Like, no cap. Like, that shit is, I'm scared, low key. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like not in like a fearful way, but like more so like in a skeptical way, like in a hesitant way. Like, I don't know if you know what I mean? Like, if I do a label deal, it would have to definitely be a partnership. Definitely have to be a partnership. And you gotta talk money to me, because I done developed myself as an artist already. I know what to do. So now if you get on the team, we double up. Cause I already know what to do just off GP for me. So now you come bring this machine for me. Are we going up? We going crazy.
Now you put yourself in a really unique position.
Yo, this is what I'm saying. I'm prepared for this shit. I wanted to learn this shit. I have to know. I'm in, my mind is on CEO. I'm not just rapping. Like, I'm not just an artist. Like, I'm trying to learn this shit for the long run. This ain't just temporary for me. I have so many shoes to fill.
So what's your biggest goal in the next 5 years? Because I know that you have an
shit like that. Shit like those type of deals, partnerships. You know what I mean? Not nobody that's trying to headlock me in and take control. Nah, come on, me and you, let's work together. And we gonna build from there. I already got this to the table. What could you offer so we can elevate together?
No, I would love to see it. I think that you have one of the brightest futures in hip hop, and I mean that as a person, not as someone who's interviewing you.
Yeah, no cap, man. I did the Mr. Robot TV show. I got my own sex toy line. They always talk about my strap. Went and did a partnership with Doc Johnson. I got my vibrators coming. I got my own sex toy line. Like, I'm tapping into different things that
no one's ever done before.
Yeah.
No, I really think that
I had a whole porn. I directed a whole porn. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm where the money resides. And that's why Mary had a little lamb.
Yo,